Imagine living in a country that is slowly disappearing under the rising sea. Imagine watching your land, your home, your culture, and your history being eroded by the waves. Imagine facing the prospect of becoming a climate refugee, forced to leave your country and seek a new life elsewhere. This is the reality for the people of Tuvalu, a tiny Pacific island nation that is threatened by the climate crisis. Tuvalu is one of the smallest and most remote countries in the world, consisting of 9 coral islands and atolls, with a total land area of less than 26 square kilometers and a population of about 11,000. Tuvalu is also one of the lowest-lying countries in the world, with an average elevation of only 1.8 meters above sea level. This makes Tuvalu extremely vulnerable to the effects of sea level rise, which is caused by the melting of ice sheets and glaciers and the thermal expansion of seawater due to global warming. According to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the global mean sea level is projected to rise by 0.3 to 1.1 meters by 2100, depending on the greenhouse gas emissions scenario. For Tuvalu, this could mean losing up to 95% of its land area and becoming uninhabitable by the end of the century. Even before that, Tuvalu faces the impacts of coastal erosion, saltwater intrusion, storm surges, flooding, and coral bleaching, which threaten its food security, water supply, infrastructure, biodiversity, and health. The people of Tuvalu are not passive victims of the climate crisis, however. They are actively fighting for their survival, both physically and virtually. On the one hand, they are trying to reclaim and protect their land by building seawalls, planting mangroves, elevating houses, and implementing adaptation and resilience projects. On the other hand, they are trying to preserve and replicate their country in the digital realm by creating a virtual version of Tuvalu that will exist in the Metaverse. The Metaverse is a term that refers to a shared online space that combines elements of virtual reality, augmented reality, social media, gaming, and e-commerce. The Metaverse is envisioned as a parallel universe that can be accessed through various devices and platforms, where people can interact, create, and consume content and experience different realities. The Metaverse is still an emerging concept, but it has gained popularity and attention in recent years, especially with the rise of platforms such as Roblox, Fortnite, and Decentraland, and the announcement of Facebook's rebranding to Meta. Tuvalu plans to become the first country to create a complete replica of itself in the Metaverse as part of its Future Now project, which was launched at the COP26 Climate Summit in Glasgow in November 2021. The project aims to digitize Tuvalu's islands, landmarks, culture, and history, and to create a virtual twin of the country that will survive in the cloud, even if the physical country disappears. The project also aims to provide Tuvaluans with new opportunities for education, employment, and income, and to raise awareness and advocacy for the climate crisis and its impacts on small island states. The Future Now project is led by the Tuvaluan government, in partnership with various organizations such as the United Nations Development Programme, the University of Auckland, and the World Bank. The project involves using drones, satellites, and 3D scanners to map and model Tuvalu's terrain and features, and to collect data and information on its flora, fauna, and culture. The project also involves using blockchain technology to create a digital identity and citizenship system for Tuvaluans, and to secure their rights and ownership over their virtual assets and resources. The project also involves using artificial intelligence and machine learning to create realistic and immersive simulations and scenarios of Tuvalu's past, present, and future. The Future Now project is expected to take several years to complete and to cost millions of dollars. The project faces many challenges and uncertainties, such as the availability and accessibility of technology, the reliability and security of data, the ethical and legal implications of digitization, and the social and cultural acceptance and participation of Tuvaluans. The project also raises many questions and debates, such as the definition and identity of a nation, the relationship and interaction between the physical and the virtual, and the role and responsibility of the international community and the private sector in addressing the climate crisis and its consequences. The Future Now project is a bold and ambitious initiative that reflects Tuvalu's determination and innovation in the face of an existential threat. It is also a visionary and pioneering experiment that could inspire and influence other countries and communities that are facing similar challenges. The Future Now project is not a surrender or a farewell, but a statement and a celebration of Tuvalu's resilience and creativity. It is a way of saying that Tuvalu will not disappear, but will continue to exist and thrive, both in the real world and in the metaverse.